My name is Tyler Marin, three-time Paralympic athlete, motivational speaker, personal trainer, and owner of ReVision Training, LLC, where our mission is to bring fitness to those who are visually impaired in an accessible format. Whoa! Okay. Now, jump as far as you can. Big jump. Nice. Now the other way. Nice. Good job. Now what? Nice. Show me another cartwheel. Show me another cartwheel. Cartwheel. Go. Nice. Good job. Good job. Gallop. Okay, gallop around. That's good galloping. What is the difference between a child with a visual impairment and one without? And I think the question that we need to ask ourselves is, do we have the same standards for both children?
Hi, my name is Libby. I've been blind my entire life. I have believers.
My name is Daryl Walker. I have low vision, so for me it was my albinism.
Hi, my name is Sean. I have juvenile X-linked retinoschisis. I've been visually impaired for 21 years.
Hi, my name is Christian, and I've been visually impaired my entire life.
Hi, my name is Leanne. I am married to Tyler. We have 4 awesome kids. I lost all of my vision to retinoblastoma, which is the eye cancer, by the time I was 2.5 years old. So I've been blind pretty much my whole life, at least as long as I can remember. My parents never really treated me any differently from my siblings, my cousins, the other kids in the neighborhood. I was free to do whatever everybody else did all the time. My mother said that when I lost all of my vision, I helped her through that time because I got up and started running around like nothing ever happened. So she just never stopped me from doing what I wanted to do.
So we know for sure that exercise at a very young age, being active, carrying in groceries, doing chores, these things will really help a child develop greater bone density, more muscle mass. It's going to help combat depression. It's going to improve anxiety, improve sleep patterns. You're going to decrease your risk of diabetes and heart disease. I mean, there's study after study that shows that being active helps children develop properly their social skills, their self-confidence. It's just undeniable the benefits that come from being physically active when you're a child.
The confidence that I gained from being allowed to do what everybody else was doing was incredible. I became a cheerleader in junior high and high school. I was a camp counselor for children with visual impairments.
I was extremely active as a kid. Learned to skateboard when I was like 6, and I've been cliff diving. I learned to wakeboard and ski. And once I got a little bit older, my brothers moved out, I started doing CrossFit with my mom and helping my dad. He's a general contractor.
I started trying out for different team sports, basketball. I did cross country, I did track and field.
And once I got involved in school, we did a lot of sports. So I did a lot of cross country, track and field, basketball, and goalball and stuff.
I was actually a very active individual. So the first sport I played was cross country. The second sport I played was basketball. The third sport that I played was goalball. And that sport is specific to blind and visually impaired individuals.
So I've always been very active and athletic. I climbed fences, I rode a 2-wheel bike, I roller skated, I swam. I went to a sports camp when I was 11 years old where I learned how to do gymnastics, which I absolutely loved. Started playing goalball.
Something that's really important for us to keep in mind is that, we have to not be overprotective of our kids, especially when they have a visual impairment. Kids are going to fall down. They're going to get bumps and bruises, and that's just a natural part of growing and learning. When I grew up on the farm, even though I had a visual impairment, I was given the same expectations as my siblings. I fed the horses, I baled the hay, I You know, when we played, I climbed trees and rode bikes and got scraped up, but it really helped me develop as a young man. And as I got older, that carried over into what I am today. It helped me develop the confidence that I have today. And so we just have to be careful not to put those extra limits on our kids. Have them carry in the groceries, have them pick up their toys, make their beds, fold their clothes. You know, is that something that is going to be extra challenging for them because they're visually impaired? Well, yeah, for sure. But that doesn't mean that they can't do it. And that's important for us to keep in mind.
I'm really grateful that my parents and my whole family, I guess, expected me to be active and to participate in sport and physical activity. Not only did it kind of decide what I wanted to do as an adult, I'm a kinesiology major right now in school, and I want to work with people with disabilities on being active. It helped build confidence for me. It helped with socialization. I had something to be super proud of while being active. Participating in sport and being a part of competition is really awesome, and I feel like it's really important as a kid or as a young adult.
Being active itself is so valuable, especially when you are growing at such a fast rate when you're a kid. It doesn't matter whether you're visually impaired or not. Your body still works the same, and it still needs to be active in order to grow healthy. It's not going to benefit yourself or your child by having them sit inside because you think they can't. And that's the battle I fought when I was a kid. My parents didn't do much, so in turn, I didn't do much to start with.
My mother, growing up, never treated me like I had disability. She never treated me like I, was somebody with a visual impairment. She always treated me like an adult. And she always treated me like somebody she always treated me like I was somebody just like anybody else without a visual impairment. And my grandparents really helped push me to become the best person that I can be.
The adults in my life let me do what everybody else was doing. I felt confident enough to do it, which meant that I fit in a lot better with my peers who were sighted. When I would go to Girl Scout camp and things like that, I fit right in with the other kids as long as the adults didn't separate me from them. When the adults said that I couldn't do what the other kids were doing, that's what caused social separation and exclusion for me.
The biggest thing I can say that I've learned from sports is socializing. When you're part of a team and you're in a community, a sports community especially, you learn to cooperate with others, you learn to work with others, and you learn a lot of valuable team skills that can help you out later in life as well as in that moment in time as well.
It's taught me self-discipline, it's taught me responsibility, it's taught me through hard work and dedication.
I was mainstreamed in a regular public school, so I didn't have a lot of blind friends in my area, but I would go with my sighted friends to the skating rink on the weekends, and that was our hangout. Nobody ever questioned whether I could do it. I just went and I just did it.
I had to adapt, and that's really what being a visually impaired individual, or even anybody that has a disability or is out of their comfort zone, has to do, is adapt.
I was left to figure out on my own how I was going to make things work. How was I going to do cheerleading? When I asked the coaches if I could try out for the squad, the coach's response was, "I don't know, can you?" And so I came up with the way that I was going to learn the cheers. I had the more experienced girls on the squad take me off to the side and actually help me learn how to do each of the cheers, and then I memorized them. I made the squad when other people were cut. I was a flyer, I figured it out. Because I was allowed to do those things, I learned how to problem solve. I learned how to advocate for myself, and I learned how to fit in with my peers and help them to accept me. I learned to be open when they had questions and how to answer those questions, and when I could actually say, okay, now you're going too far.
to all the parents out there that are thinking like, oh, well, my son can't see that well, so he's not going to be able to be a professional baseball player like his dad, or he's not going to be able to be an NBA star like this person or that person. That's okay. Some people can actually just play sports for fun, and some of them can actually play sports to maybe get a scholarship. And then there's other sports out there for the blind and visually impaired through the Paralympics that actually exist for them as well. Or they may just want to do it just for a sheer recreational benefit.
The final thought that I want to leave with you is if you are a parent of a visually impaired child, you should be careful not to place limits on them, because in doing so, they're going to place limits on themselves. And that's something that we don't want to instill. We don't want to put limits on our kids. We want them to grow and be confident adults that are successful in the things that they try to do. So as challenging as it is, give your child the opportunity to fail. Give your child the opportunity to try. And by doing so, you will encourage them to become a successful adult.
There you go. Nice. Good work. Ready? Gonna jump and pull. Jump. Pull. Good job, man. Good. All right.
To join our communities, click the links in the description of this video.